Some toxic traits within photography that I think set you up for failure are things like bangers only. Anything else is not acceptable. All right, ready?
Did I get it? I got it, didn't I?
No, I didn't. Actually? I actually hit the glass.
Yeah.
I need to see it. I'm sorry, Peter Andrew. I love that print. Some toxic traits within photography that I think set you up for failure are things like bangers only. Now, I've said it myself, I go out with my friends, and all right, folks, bangers only, indicating only taking the best photos always. But then that yields comments like this. I don't know, man, I've always been a big fan, but this definitely ain't your best work, brother. Much love. And I said exactly this. Not everything I post is my best work, and that's what makes it special. I just love photography. It doesn't have to meet the expectations of someone I don't even know. So that term, bangers only, indicates that like you should always be performing at the very, very tip of the spear of your abilities, and anything else is not acceptable. That's a toxic trait. If your baseline then becomes only bangers, only your best work at all times, then your best work is no longer your best work. That's just your baseline. Now your best work has to be way above that. Your best work is no longer special. It's just expected. It's what we're used to, and it gets boring and people grow tired of that, and you can't keep up with yourself. The new baseline. Art needs the valleys and peaks. You need to take great photos. You need to take bad photos, you need to take photos in the middle, and at the same time, none of it matters anyway. If you enjoy photography, just take photos. Just make vids. The same thing applies to videos, cinematography, YouTube videos, podcasts, songs. Not every song will be your hit. People change, artists change, your tastes change, your style changes, and with that, the work that you produce in whatever medium changes with you. The conversation continued, someone else jumping in saying sometimes the best images come from happy accidents. The original author says, man, that's actually a fair point, touche. We get so caught up in posting the best pics to Instagram, we forget that the photography is much more than that. So it was a good conversation. And I wrote back, I don't need everything to be the pinnacle of my career. An important side of photography, beyond that of just trying to get the prettiest, most incredible photos ever, is documenting. Journalism, photo essays, like using your camera to just remember things, to show how things work. It's not always about something pretty, what will yield the most likes. That's what social media has turned it into. Maybe you've traveled to a new place. Maybe you're just documenting how people spend their afternoons in a park. That might not be the best photo you've ever taken, but it shows a moment in time, shows a moment in your time. That might perform not as well on social media, but that doesn't mean it's any less than any of your other photos that you equally enjoy. If you're happy, that's all that matters. There's a lot of social pressures within social media in this day and age to constantly be one-upping yourself, leveling up against you. You're always in competition with you. I remember during COVID, I couldn't travel anymore, and a lot of my photography was based on travel, so I spent a ton of time going through all the archives trying to find my best photos because all I was ever posting was the best that I possibly could. The most insane mountainscapes, the most incredible looking lakes. So I couldn't just start posting stuff, in my mind, around the community or around my home, or archived stuff that wasn't the same as what people were used to seeing from me, and that was a hard benchmark to reach on a weekly basis. That was hard to keep up with. And art should be fun, and photography should be fun, and it should be inspiring. This newfound love for film for me has opened my eyes to that style of documentation, of photographing the mundane, photographing the ugly things, sometimes photographing the most pretty things, the most insane landscapes, down to something that I would never have looked at in the eyes of a photographer thinking that's interesting. Now that's interesting to me. So of course there's going to be people that follow my accounts that aren't used to that style change. They're used to the bucket shot. So when I post a picture of a parking lot or a shopping cart or a vase of flowers, that's different, that's strange. So I understand where it comes from, but I can say from experience this year, being able to explore that side of the craft has been absolutely eye-opening and life-changing as an artist. It's also the reason I no longer say bangers only. I think a better way to look at things is just like, what does it mean to share? This could just be inspiring people, enjoying a hobby, documenting something that's happening in your community, town, city, country, just expressing a feeling, a state of mind, a view. It can be anything you want it to be, and it should be anything you want it to be, bangers or not. Photography is a massive umbrella and everything fits underneath it. So I encourage you this week to go out with your camera, shoot something different, shoot something that necessarily might not be your best work. Shoot something that just lets you enjoy the craft, because that's ultimately all that matters.